Hey guys, I want to come on here and talk about this story. And it's interesting being that one of these articles is from The Root, and this article is specifically written by a black man. And I want you guys to look at the language that he's doing when he's describing this case. Now, I did a story about this in the past where there was a woman who lied to the police and said three black men raped and kidnapped her. Now, she's facing 0 years in prison. Again, this is an issue specific to black men. You do not see a bunch of white men running around falsely accusing black women of rape, okay? This is something that black men will complain about, but they continuously put their oppressors, mothers and daughters, on a pedestal. They don't make movements to hold them accountable for the false rape allegations. They make movements as to why they should be dating them. They make movements promoting being with them and promoting them as the pinnacle of a woman that they will want to be with. These are the same women who turn a blind eye to their oppression or who directly aids to it, or both. But they refuse to make a movement about this. The only time they get vocal about interracial dating or white women is when somebody suggests that they have some self-esteem and dignity and either require them to work to dismantle the system of white supremacy or don't date them. But it says, but look at this. The beautiful blonde Texas Becky monster. You couldn't be more coonish. This is a black man writing a story about a white woman who made up a story, targeted black men to try and get a number of black men murdered, okay? Because you have the police running around looking for fictitious black men. That means they were racially profiling every black man they saw. He refers to her as the beautiful blonde Texas Becky monster. Still upholding white supremacy. But anyway, who falsely told police that she was raped and kidnapped by three black men, agreed to a plea deal that will result in the extreme penalty of never being punished for her crime. On March 8, 2007, police in Denison, Texas responded to a call that Brianna Rochelle Harmon was missing, and the door to her vehicle was open, with her personal items scattered on the ground near her automobile. A few hours later, Harmon walked into a nearby church, bloodied, bruised, and discombobulated, wearing nothing but her underwear. Keep in mind, she did this to herself. According to the Herald Democrat, Harmon told the police that she was kidnapped by three black males wearing ski masks and gloves. Harmon explained how the roving band of masked thugs, obviously roaming the area looking for white women to defile, snatched the 18-year-old out of her car, took her to a wooded area, and then gang raped her. But again, to him, she's the beautiful blonde Texas Becky monster. Look at her. Anyway.
And do social media and regular media quickly to take through regional news. This is very crime, especially for them to be tough crimes that don't happen. Something that I've been pushing here now for 5 years. From a social media perspective, rumors and other questions out there put this by control. A lot of our citizens are fearful of the rumors and jokes and just won't go on. Proof and things that randomly going around town. Justice rumors. People saw it on social media. But almost immediately, from a police perspective, our investigators were not able to put the trouble together as it was supposed to. As a result of it now, no evidence of kidnapping, no evidence of sexual assault. Although I don't have an official report back from the medical staff, information that I have is that they have progress. So even essential to the working session and talk to the elected the free time last night. Chelsea said the whole thing is the crime thing, we believe it, starting with the vehicle all the way to the point of walking to church. They, the injuries that she had because of the wood.
Now, as you guys can tell, the audio in that video was a little, like, way too low. So I'm not going to play that, but I will leave the link so you guys can look at it. But look at the way, and look at the ramifications of this. And look at the way that this black man, by this white-owned publication, is glorifying a white woman who falsely accused 3 imaginary black men. So she's clearly racially targeting them of a crime they didn't commit. So the article says, but Harmon bravely fended off the imaginary Negroes in an epic knife fight from which she luckily escaped with only a few scratches on her legs, as if that would be possible. She fled to the church and recounted her story to officers, who began searching for the African rape squad, but before they could attack another white woman. This alleged rape of an innocent white girl angered people in the community and around the country. Everyone began searching for the evil man who stole Harmon's purity after her mom made a Facebook post. Now, understand that you had white supremacists going and looking for these black men, okay? Just at the notion, just like in Jim Crow, that they raped a white woman, okay? But black people will allow these race soldiers and demonic, pale, melanin deficient citizens to murder their children and do absolutely nothing. Notice that you don't see any white people condemning her. Even when it came out that this was fake, no one really condemned her because they are on code. So they're either going to defend or keep their mouths shut. But with black people, what they'll do, because they have to appease white daddy, they'll go on a media blitz, sitting here bashing their own people. No code at all, no self-esteem, no type of self-respect, no group code. So this is what was said. This is going to be a brutally honest post. Today, my daughter, Brianna Harmon Talbot, was taken by force by 3 black men. 2 raped her, and she is cut head to toe by a knife. They took her engagement ring, her class ring, her earrings, her baby T necklace, everything she had on. She was able to run and ran in the church bleeding from head to toe with no pants on. Someone had to have saw something. This town is small. If anyone hears anything, please call the Denison Police Department. Even though no one claims to have saw something, the alt-right began explaining how they had been warning the world all along about how black men, unable to control their animalistic lust for legal envelope-shaped Caucasian cakes, often satisfied their savage urge by raping white girls. Now, the thing of it is how much do these swirling black men contribute to this myth? Because if I was just an outsider and I saw the way black men who date white women praise them and talked about them, I would think that they were so desperate for them and they loved them so much that they were rape them if they had to too. Because that's the impression that they give them when they want to coon it up all over social media. So this was their post. 3 black men kidnapped 3 black men. Again, this is the high IQ gang. Kidnapped and gang raped an engaged 18-year-old white girl yesterday, March 18th on Women's Day. If the races were reversed, this would be national news. These men must be brought to justice. Again, this is a tweet from them. I guess no media because it doesn't fit noble blacks, evil whites narrative. Really? Some folks brainstorm solutions for the raging epidemic, posting whites need a mafia. If you want to rape a white girl like Brianna Talbot, the white mafia finds you and your family and puts you down. Again, black people are all about marching around forgiving and praying, but they're saying if you touch one of theirs, there is no forgiveness, there is no prayer, you get put down. this is the difference between some people who have a microcosm of self-respect and dignity versus ones who do not. As police investigated, they wonder why Harmon's bruises were not consistent with being in a violent knife attack. Even more curiously, a nurse who examined Harmon said that there was no physical evidence of sexual assault and did not think that she had been assaulted. After police questioned black men in the area and were unable to find the three-man white girl rape team, Harmon eventually confessed that she might have made up the part about the black men and the part about being kidnapped and the part about being raped. So you have the police actively out targeting black men. Again, black men know how much this happens. They still do nothing about it. They still praise these white women. So again, this is how they're contributing to this myth that's starting to not be a myth. Because I do really believe there are some of these coons who are out there who are so desperate for white vagina that they might rape them, because that's the impression that they give me. That's the impression that they give everybody else, obviously. Harmon admitted that she had cut herself and her jeans because she was upset about possibly breaking up with her boyfriend. When she realized that her mom might be upset about the jeans, Harmon said she just made up the stuff about a group of mass rapists because, well, you know, they're black. I'm sure everyone can understand the sicking the police on the black men is less stressful than having mommy yell for a few minutes about ripping a perfectly good pair of Old Navy dungarees. This dude is an idiot. On Thursday, Harmon pleaded guilty to 2 third-degree felony counts of tampering with physical evidence, a third-degree felony count of tampering with a government record, and a state jail felony count of tampering with a government record. But no hate crime charges, none of those. The charges meant that Harmon faced 30 years in prison and tens of thousands of dollars in fines. She's very remorseful for what she did and what she said, and that's why she decided to plead guilty. No, she didn't have another choice but to. Harmon's attorney, Bob Jarvis, explained, noting that the plea deal means that Harmon will not serve a day behind bars. The cap is either regulating probation or deferred adjudication. He said, of course, we'll be asking for a deferred, and they'll be asking for regular probation. Again, but black men are not going to do anything about this because, again, black people support and love white supremacy more than white people do. In Texas, deferred adjudication means that Harmon will enter a guilty plea, but it will not be listed as a conviction. Upon successful completion of a period of community supervision, the charges against Harmon will be technically dismissed. Furthermore, Harmon will be able to file for non-disclosure after her period of supervision that essentially seals the criminal records of the offense from private entities. Legal advocate website ABLE states this keeps potential employers, apartment complexes, and many others from knowing about the offense. But if a black person was to do any of this, understand that none of this would apply to them. But again, I don't feel bad for these men, because if it's not important enough for them to do something about this, then it's not going to be. Look, I'm not being falsely accused, okay? This isn't anything that happens to black women. Black men would expect black women to get up and fight this battle for them, but why would we if you're not fighting it yourself? It's just like black people expecting other people to respect them when they obviously don't respect yourself. Do you not think that other groups of people see this stuff and see how black people do nothing about it? You lay down and get beat and brutalized and oppressed by every body and treated like dogs, and you do absolutely nothing about it. Again, it will be easy for anybody to oppress black people because you're showing that you're the weakest, most insufficient, self-loathing, desperate for white validation group of people that ever graced this planet. And you have no reason to be, because you have the most talent and everything of any group of people, and let you allow them to treat you like slaves because you believe you're a slave. Again, if black men don't care, neither do I. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for your support. I'll see you in the next one.